Our story begins in Seoul in 2021, in one of the local schools. One of the guys with glasses, named Jae-min, wanted to leave quickly so as not to be late for the academy, and walked past the guy Soo-hyuk, who was calling him. The rest of the group started laughing at Soo-hyuk being ignored. Suddenly, Soo-hyuk turns around and demands Jae-min to stand still. He insults him and prepares to hit him, but then Jae-min turns around first and punches Soo-hyuk in the face. The guy clearly didn't expect this. Jae-min says that Soo-hyuk can pretend to be cool, but let him get rid of him, because he has enough problems without him. Soo-hyuk tells Jae-min not to act like a strong man, and that from now on he is a corpse. Jae-min didn't have time to say anything when suddenly a guy with a bat appeared behind him. The guy hits Jae-min from behind. The guy with the bat insults Jae-min and asks him if he really thinks they are just backing up. Soo-hyuk sarcastically asks if Jae-min is in much pain. He adds that this is why Min should be a good boy and not argue with them at school. However, Jae-min boldly stands up and calls Soo-hyuk a bastard, to which Soo-hyuk gets angry and tells the guys to go after him. The guys begin to mercilessly beat the prone Jae-min, and Soo-hyuk simply walks away with a mockery. Suddenly, magical purple particles appear in the air. The hero does not understand what it is. There are more and more particles, as if something is about to happen. The guys are confused about what it was and ask Soo-hyuk if he saw it. Soo-hyuk replied that yes, something began to glow brightly. He was also at a loss. The beaten Jae-min tried to get up. Soo-hyuk said that this trash is still alive and pressed him to the ground with his foot. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a certain guy appears who says that even after 20 years they have not changed. Soo-hyuk asked, "What the hell?" The guy who appeared, Kang Woo-jin, noticed that the uniform remained the same. Soo-hyuk asked what was wrong with this homeless man. The guy was surprised by this wording and asked if Soo-hyuk knew who he called a homeless person. Soo-hyuk's other friends thought he was a senior from their school and were wondering what to do. Jae-min looked at this picture in bewilderment. Kang Woo-jin said that it doesn't matter, because it looks like a conflict between friends. But it can't be left like that. Soo-hyuk told him that it doesn't matter whether he is a high school student or not. Let him mind his own business and go where he was going. He also asked if he really wanted to be beaten by junior high school students, so let him move on from here. Kang Woo-jin said that young people these days are rude. He also added that Soo-hyuk is talking to a high school student who is 20 years older than them. Here, Soo-hyuk tries to hit Kang Woo-jin in the chest, saying that he is talking nonsense and that he should run away while he can. However, the guy grabs Soo-hyuk's hand, saying that he will break this hand if he continues to piss him off. Soo-hyuk said he was crazy and tried to hit him again. However, his fist simply missed Kang Woo-jin's face. Soo-hyuk didn't understand what was happening. Our hero said that he went too far, calling the high school student a goner. He added that they would get theirs, but first they would see something incredibly frightening. Suddenly, Kang Woo-jin raised his hand and began to try to cast some kind of spell. The guy stood in shock and looked at it all in bewilderment. Kang Woo-jin was still trying to do something. He looks stunned. The guy didn't understand why his magic didn't work, and looked at his hand in surprise. Soo-hyuk angrily asked what day it was today. Either the bespectacled man tries to contradict them, then a crazy person appears and does something incomprehensible. Kang Woo-jin collected his thoughts. This was the last straw. He said that Soo-hyuk had finished his game. From one click, Soo-hyuk flew straight into the wall. This is truly something incredible. Jae-min, the other guys, were just in shock. Soo-hyuk was unconscious. Kang Woo-jin asked with a grin who would be next. The hero also killed the rest of the guys from Soo-hyuk's company. Jae-min stood up and said enthusiastically that this was amazing. With one finger, Kang Woo-jin killed 4. Although they are insignificant, they are quite strong. The discipline lesson is over. Jae-min wondered who this guy was. Jae-min thanked Kang Woo-jin for his protection. He replied that it was okay. Jae-min thought that he would ask about his well-being, but Kang Woo-jin was thinking about something else. Suddenly, the hero asked the guy what day, date, and year it was. Jae-min found this strange. When the guy told Kang Woo-jin what year it was today, his face changed dramatically. Kang Woo-jin was summoned in 2016, so it looks like 2036 should have been 20 years from now. The hero did not understand what happened and clearly did not know what was happening. Kang Woo-jin turned around and said that he had left and that Jae-min should not get into fights anymore. Jae-min couldn't figure out who the hell this guy was. Kang Woo-jin started trying to call the teleport. Jae-min said that this guy is too crazy for a second year. Suddenly, Kang Woo-jin turned around and began to walk back towards Jae-min. He asked him not to come closer. The hero asked the name of the guy he saved. He replied that his name was Do Jae-min. Kang Woo-jin called out to him and asked if Do Jae-min had money. The hero explained that he returned too early and could not use magic. Jae-min thought to himself that he was cornered by a crazy person. Kang Woo-jin revealed that he had just returned from another world to Earth using molecular teleportation, but it seemed that something had happened to his mana control in the process. Usually the hero used a teleport to travel to the house, but now he cannot do this. Jae-min asked how much money he needed, and the guy gave the hero instead of 2,000, one as much as 5,000. Kang Woo-jin noted that Jae-min is a good guy. He even gave him money. I'll have to repay him somehow. The hero looked at his reflection and thought that 5 years had flown by in Earth time. I was lucky that not much time had passed. The family should probably be able to recognize him. The hero calculated that he is now 24 and his parents are about 50, and Su-ah should already be 7. Suddenly, the hero saw that military men were standing near the entrance to the station. He began to wonder what happened here. He really didn't understand what was going on here and decided to find out. He decided to ask the girls passing by why the military was right at the entrance to the metro. They looked at each other and replied that of course the military would be standing at the entrance to the dungeon. They started laughing and joking that the hero was from North Korea. The girls continued laughing and left. Kang Woo-jin didn't understand what she was talking about. The hero decided that he should just take the bus and saw that there were no military personnel here. Suddenly the hero found himself near a door with bars. He didn't understand why it was locked. Something must have really happened. He started looking around and saw the keys on the shelf, so he walked over and took them. It looks like the metro is not working. Apparently they closed the station completely. The hero thought, why did he come here, and began to open the door. Suddenly, he received a notification that he had entered the dungeon through the first entrance of Gwacheon Station. Kang Woo-jin remembered the girl's words and realized that this was indeed a dungeon. A notification appeared that the dungeon was already being cleared. Monsters at the metro station. What happened to the Earth during these 5 years? The hero wanted to return, but it seems that this door was locked for a reason. He needs the Stone of Return to get out of here. Kang Woo-jin began to look around and noticed glowing blue particles in the air. He had the feeling that monsters were actually coming here. There's actually someone there, some kind of monster with huge, scary red legs. A fierce monster in the form of a red wolf with sharp teeth attacked Kang Woo-jin. The monster threw the hero back with incredible force. He's clearly aggressive. The hero tried to use magic again, the curb technique, but it still didn't work. The monster threw the hero back again, but Kang Woo-jin was serious and ready to fight. This monster looks like a jerk. The hero did not understand why the monster from Alphen was here. Drebit attacked the hero again, but suddenly Kang Woo-jin discovered a metal stick on the floor like a crowbar. The hero very quickly picked up the crowbar in order to have time to use it. Now the hero took his will into his fist and decided to act, to get rid of the monster. Kang Woo-jin furiously stabbed the crowbar right into the red Drebit's head. Even though the hero was left without magic, squabbling is nothing to him. Everything would have been fine, but a whole flock of Drebits was still waiting for the hero. However, this did not frighten the hero, and he mockingly said that the guys lined up especially for him. Kang Woo-jin defeated everyone. They're just jabs so he can handle them, but if someone stronger comes along, he might have problems. Suddenly, the hero saw a notification that the level had been increased. The hero was very surprised by this. The fact is that his strength has disappeared and he is now a novice. Leveling up? Well, there's nothing wrong with getting stronger while these creatures are running around Seoul, but the same necromancer class became transferred. For returning to level 1 instead of 99, he was given stat and skill points. One of the skills carried over is the combo box. The hero can combine materials to create an item, but his inventory is cleared. He also now has an achievement store. This was not the case in Alphen, and it is just like online shopping. It's funny. Right now, Kang Woo-jin needs skills. He needs a search to find the return stone. And to fight monsters, detection and summoning a skeleton soldier are enough. Each one costs 10 points. The hero doesn't have enough. Then he decided to raise the statistics. He raised such characteristics as strength, agility, health, intelligence, mana, recovery, healing, and control. Kang Woo-jin decided to test the characteristics he had just acquired and was pleased. The goal is clear. He now has 5 achievement points. Finding the Hearthstone requires a 10-point search. He needs to kill 5 more Drabits to buy this skill. In this case, Kang Woo-jin decided to act. He will find the stone and get out of this dungeon. He thanked the Drabit for running straight into his hands. The hero dealt with them, and his level was raised to 3. Kang Woo-jin said that there are too many of them and they are not ending. In the achievement store, he began to acquire the skills of searching and tracking. He began searching for the homecoming stone, but it didn't seem to be there. Then he decided to go down to the floor below, where a huge number of Drabits were already waiting for him. It's a risky business to fight all the monsters at once. That's right. Doing this alone is definitely not his thing. He went into the achievement store. To summon a skeleton soldier, he needs to sacrifice the corpse of a monster. You also need mana points and control. Kang Woo-jin decides to split 10 points between mana and control. He uttered a phrase so that his subjects would rebel. Skeleton soldiers appeared. The hero ordered them to go on their first hunt in a long time. The skeletons went on the attack. However, the Drabits were quite deft at dealing with the skeleton soldiers. Today's skeletons are no match for the Drabits. It was necessary to choose a different tactic. Kang Woo-jin ordered them to block them with their bodies. This is enough to repel the first dangerous attack of the Drabits. After this, choosing the moment, the hero will finish off the monsters himself. And the Drabits can be used to call up new soldiers, which is what the hero began to do. The Drabits attacked, and the task of the skeleton soldiers was to block them with their bodies. Now Kang Woo-jin himself went on the attack. He began killing the Drebites one by one. Repeating this tactic many times, he finally got rid of all the monsters. Now you can go home. Kang Woo-jin began searching for the homecoming stone and saw a bright red light. Suddenly, an unknown guy entered the dungeon and saw that the lock was open. He was furious that a civilian had gotten inside. Now he's finished. The guy started calling for help by phone as soon as possible. But suddenly our hero, Kang Woo-jin, appeared in front of him. The hero was surprised by the guy's arrival. Kang Woo-jin asked the guy if he was awakened. We moved to a certain guy whose backpack was filled with bright red stones. He said it was a good catch this time too. He said that even though they risk their lives by participating in raids, all the profits go to the damn guild members. He thinks it's unfair. Only an idiot would take it all to the procurement center, given that on the black market they would fetch several times more for the stones. But suddenly, someone called out to him and asked how much he had already stolen in this way. The guy turned around to see who was there, and it turned out to be a certain girl. The girl said that she was Death with a Grim Reaper who had come for him. She is the captain of Team Cinnabar, Hwarang Guild, Lee Yoon-hee. Lee Yoon-hee asked how dare the guy steal the bloodstones from their dungeon. Does he really want to die? The guy realized what guild she was from, and it was terrible to be caught by her. She said that since he knew her, he could go with her. The guy realized that apparently the only chance for him was to escape. He wasn't going to give up just like that, and directed his magic at the girl. But the fragments simply flew past her. Then the guy decided to run away. This really angered the girl, and she decided to kill him. Lee Yoon-hee said that he should have listened when she said to follow her. She took his backpack, but saw a message on his phone from the security team at Gate 1 of Gwacheon Station. It talked about an unauthorized portal and a request to verify the identity of the violator. Meanwhile, Kang Woo-jin was already standing at the bus stop and thinking about which bus he should take. Dungeons, monsters. This is not the world that the hero knew before. Now he looks like Alphen. What happened during these 5 years? Woo-jin hopes nothing happened to his family. He arrived at his old house. This is exactly the place, but his house has disappeared. He didn't understand what kind of stupid thing it was there now. Perhaps his family moved somewhere. However, it is now too late to look for them. Woo-jin just remembered that he hadn't eaten anything yet today, so he decided to go get something to eat. The hero was full and satisfied. He finally feels that he has returned to Earth. But he doesn't want to go to the hotel, and he doesn't have enough money for an internet cafe. He was already thinking about spending the night in the subway. However, Kang Woo-jin remembered that the subway was infested with monsters. Jae-min, it turns out, also happened to be walking past this cafe. There won't be enough for dinner, so we'll have to settle for ramen since he gave the money to Woo-jin. And then Jae-min walks into the cafe and sees Kang Woo-jin. He wondered what this old fart was doing here. Woo-jin says that he was just about to call him how lucky it was. Jae-min asked what he wanted from him. Woo-jin asks if Jae-min's parents are home. He didn't want to talk, but the hero said that it was about what happened earlier. Woo-jin would like to talk to them. Jae-min replied that his parents had passed away, to which Woo-jin was happy, but suddenly changed his face and offered his condolences. The hero asked that in this case, Jae-min probably lives alone. Woo-jin told Jae-min to go to his house. Of course, it's not for free, so Woo-jin handed Jae-min a few coins. Jae-min asked if it was his money by chance, but Woo-jin shut him up by saying that he saw a fly. The hero promised to return to the guy everything he owed him. The next day, Woo-jin came to school. The teacher was glad that he was alive. Woo-jin told the teacher that they had not seen each other for a long time. The teacher began to ask where the hero lived all this time. He added that after Woo-jin disappeared, everyone thought he had died. The hero replied that technically he died and came back, and also asked to look at the list of students. It was a normal school day. Jae-min was talking with a classmate, when suddenly Soo-hyuk and his company entered the office. Soo-hyuk noticed Jae-min and pushed the girl away on his way to him. Soo-hyuk said that Jae-min had a good day yesterday because some crazy person showed up and interrupted them. Soo-hyuk added that they should end the conversation and asked if he was right. Jae-min replied that he understood and asked him to stop making noise in class. Soo-hyuk was very angry at Jae-min's words. He grabbed Jae-min by the hair and asked if he still didn't understand the situation he was in. But suddenly Kang Woo-jin appears in the office and tells him to stand still. He came in just in time. Soo-hyuk recognized him as the guy who had arrived yesterday. Woo-jin demanded that his entire company follow him into the backyard. I still didn't understand what the hero was doing, because he invited Soo-hyuk and his whole gang to a fight alone. Soo-hyuk tried to hit Woo-jin and told him to stop dodging like a coward and come to him. Alphen or Earth, there are such people everywhere, people full of arrogance because of strength or power. Soo-hyuk continued to try to hit the hero. He clearly doesn't know his place. Soo-hyuk reminds Woo-jin of Cassis from the Alphen Alliance. Being a bloodthirsty necromancer who calls only the souls of sinners, he tried in every possible way to frame Woo-jin and set an alliance against him. Soo-hyuk ordered the guys from his company not to stand idle and attack Woo-jin. You can deal with such people only by answering them in kind tenfold, and to respond precisely with overwhelming force, as Woo-jin did in Alphen. The hero began to deal with everyone without much difficulty, one by one. He asked Soo-hyuk why he was frozen and told him to come over. The guy started trying to attack the hero. However, Woo-jin easily dealt with him too. He said that Soo-hyuk is too loud for mere trash. But suddenly Kang Woo-jin noticed someone on the road to the school. And really, it turned out to be our hero's mother. She walked very quickly and looked excited. Woo-jin and Mom were incredibly happy to see each other and hugged each other tightly. According to Mom, immediately after he disappeared 5 years ago, there was a dungeon attack all over the world. Subway stations instantly became dungeons. The father died on the way to work, and the mother had to take care of Soo-ah alone. Due to the fact that their family was not wealthy, the family's financial situation quickly deteriorated as Sua fell ill. Therefore, every day was torture. Wu Jin came home and heard Mom talking to Sua and how she was getting ready for kindergarten. The hero froze. Wu Jin felt how difficult it was for Mom to take care of the family alone just by looking at the room that couldn't accommodate the family. The hero noticed various boxes in the corner of the room against the wall. One of these boxes contained his and Dad's things that Mom couldn't throw away. Realizing the reason why his mother couldn't throw them away makes Wu Jin's heart skip a beat. Mom told Sua that Wu Jin is her older brother and told him to say hello to him. Wu Jin said that the girl had grown up and asked if she remembered him. He said that he changed her diapers when she was little, to which Sua answered menacingly that she no longer peed. Mom invited Sua to play with her brother while she prepared something for them. The girl asked if her mother was home today, to which she received a positive answer. Sua was happy, and Wu Jin couldn't help but rejoice at being reunited with his family. Everyone went to bed, but the hero did not stop thinking. He realized that this was not it. 20 years ago, he was summoned by Alphen without any reason. That world was more like a game. He fought harder than anyone. It was all to survive against the monsters and creatures of Alphen, and finally he became a max-level necromancer. However, he did not see the end of his long journey. For this reason, he returned to Earth after meeting with the Dimensional Administrator, and this is all just to reunite with his family. Wu Jin just wanted ordinary happiness, but the Earth he returned to has changed. His father is dead and his family is struggling to make ends meet. This will not work. Wu Jin realized that he needed to earn money. He survived in Alphen, which means he can overcome even worse, for the sake of the family that was waiting for him. To begin with, the hero bought himself a phone. Awakened. The hero began to remember the day when an unfamiliar man entered the dungeon and asked if he was awakened. That man was scared to death that an ordinary civilian had walked in there. He asked Ugin why he went there if there were no more bloodstones in the dungeon. The man asked the hero to sign. The hero did not understand what was happening then. Kang Wu Jin realized that he needed to earn money. There is a way to do this quickly, to become awakened. The hero wrote a message to his mother that he was staying with a guy he knew, with whom he would prepare for the entrance exams. This is so that she does not worry while he earns money. Wu Jin decides to call Jae-min at the number he left. The hero is embarrassed that he is constantly intruding, but promises to repay him later. Wu Jin dialed the number, but a certain Park Hui Seo from the Dongjin Employment Agency answered. The hero began, in bewilderment, to compare the number he called with the number on the piece of paper. He didn't understand what was happening. Wu Jin was called on the phone again. The hero asked if this was Jae-min's number, to which he received a negative answer. It looks like Jae-min tricked him by writing a different number. This evening, Jae-min was returning home. He thought that he never thanked Wu Jin because Soo-hyuk and his gang would no longer approach him. Although Wu Jin looks like a psycho, he's definitely not a bad guy. Jae-min remembered that the hero was supposed to meet his mother. Jae-min entered the apartment but suddenly saw Wu Jin sitting at the table. The hero was waiting for him. The guy was furious and asked how Wu Jin got here. The hero said that he saw Jae-min typing the password. The guy said it was a burglary. Wu Jin told him that he called but someone else answered the phone. Jae-min is shocked, but he immediately understood what was going on. He said he wanted to ask Wu Jin some questions. Sharply, Jae-min asks the hero if he is awakened. One could have guessed this before because Ugin had some incredible power. Wu Jin asked Jae-min how much the awakened ones earn. The guy replied that I would, but it depends on the dungeon. Wu Jin asked to tell everything Jae-min knows. You must first register as an awakened member of the association in order to enter dungeons. Then join a guild and go on raids. You can also get a job in an association or administrative bureau. Wu Jin asked if it would be more profitable to clear dungeons alone. Jae-min said that it is, but it is too dangerous, so it is better to join the guild. Wu Jin knew that guilds had to take entrance tests, but he didn't have time for that. He urgently needs money. Jae-min said that the hero can then at least form a group, because the dungeons are very dangerous. The guy told Wu Jin to download an app on his phone. Jae-min took the hero's phone and said that it was quite ancient, but Wu Jin only took it recently. The guy explained that this phone was released 4 years ago and was surprised that the hero bought it as new. The salesman told Wu Jin that this was the best-selling phone at the moment. Durable, this model is used by a huge number of famous awakened ones. The seller severely deceived the hero. Jae-min showed the hero the dungeon forum where you can find information about dungeons and make reservations. Wu Jin asked if he could clear the dungeons he found there. Jae-min repeated that the hero must first measure his awakened rank and added that he would simply die if he recklessly went into the first dungeon. Wu Jin was surprised that you had to pay to enter there. Even for a low-level dungeon, you have to pay 10,000 won. The hero thought and asked Jae-min to lend him money. Wu Jin went to the Awakened Control Bureau to the exam room. He had a black aura, which seriously surprised the workers. They didn't know what was happening. Then the hero decided to show his strength and cast a rebellion spell, and a skeleton appeared. The workers are shocked. Now Ujin is not alone, but together with a skeleton soldier. The workers realized that Kang Woo-jin was a necromancer. One of them said that he had seen a lot here, but this was his first time seeing a necromancer. Summoner abilities are measured by the combat abilities of the summoned familiars. Wu Jin was told to order the skeleton to attack. A hologram of a green goblin appeared to check. Ugin ordered his skeleton soldier to show his power, and the skeleton went on the attack. After checking, the hero was told that he had an F rank. He asked if this was a high rank, to which he was told that it was the lowest rank. The summoned familiar's power was weaker than expected, but it was still a unique ability. Who cares about rank as long as the hero can enter the dungeon? The hero approached Silim Station, a dungeon with 2 stars. A group of guys had already formed there. One of these guys called out to Wu Jin, saying that he seemed to have come alone and offered to join them. The guy with green hair said there were 7 of them, so there was an opening. Wu Jin refused, saying that everything was fine and he could handle it himself. However, the guy asked why Wu Jin would spend so much money on entry. He also added that the hero will not be able to carry away many stones due to time limits. The guy realized that Wu Jin had recently become a miner and asked what his rank was. The hero replied that he had an F rank. The guy replied that Wu Jin still doesn't know much and once again offered to join them for experience. The guy's name is Bai Do Su, and he is an E-rank miner with experience. He guarantees the hero's safety. Wu Jin thought that the entry fee was for the maximum number of participants, and it would cost 800,000 won per hour for a single person. It's too much. The maximum number of participants at the entrance is 8. To enter alone, you need to pay for 8 at once, so in order to mine stones more efficiently, it is better to go as a group. The hero realized that if he wants to get information, then going in a group is not such a bad idea. One of the guys from the group said that he was a little nervous and asked Wu Jin about it. Wu Jin replied that men should not show their fear even if they are afraid. The guy, whose name is Hong Sung-gu and he is an F-rank fire mage, said that the hero is very confident in himself. Hong Sung-gu was recruited in the same way as Wu Jin. It seems he awakened 2 months ago, left school and began earning money as an awakened one. Suddenly another group began to take the wounded guy out of the dungeon. Looks like something happened. These guys started saying that there was a hobgoblin there and where he could have come from there. Bai Do Su said that there is no point in complaining because it is just a waste of time. Sometimes there are monsters in dungeons that shouldn't be there. The hobgoblin is a 2-star monster. They can handle it if they're careful. The time has come to enter the dungeon. Everything in the room was scattered. Small green goblins appeared in front of the heroes. Hong Sung-gu started attacking them with a fireball, which had a good effect on them. Bai Do Su used the burning technique. Everyone else also began to attack them with swords and more. Ugin's skeletons also played an important role. The group defeated the goblins. Sun-gu has a strong fireball and the skeleton is even faster than it looks. The skeleton is also quite strong, definitely above F rank. This is because Wu Jin spent the remaining points to increase the skill level. Apparently it was worth it. As expected from a 2-star dungeon, the stones here are very good. One of these will cost about 200,000 won. Now Ugin understood why the awakened ones risk their lives so much if a small crystal has such a price. So the entrance fee of 100,000 won is just pennies. The group has already collected quite a lot of stones. Although they are only at the beginning of the dungeon, 1-star dungeons weren't even close. The heroes realized that 2-star dungeons were a gold mine. The group walked further through the dungeon, and soon they would have reached the last floor. They need to give it their all. Then suddenly, they saw that same hobgoblin. Bai Do Su, the group leader, said to use the normal formation. However, Wu Jin asked if it would be better to be a little more careful. Bai Do Su replied that he had learned the manual. His main attack is magic. John Chula's ability is to create barriers. If they block the first attack and get closer, then victory will be assured. Wu Jin decided that since the team leader said so, he wouldn't argue. The group decided to take action, and began by blocking the attack. It worked. The heroes moved on, and Bai Do Su uses his burning skill. The other guys also attack the hobgoblin. Among the monsters Ugin encountered on Alphen were hobgoblins. Compared to ordinary ones, these had high intelligence. For example, they could cast spells. But the real danger is not magic. The goblins hid behind the columns, and one of them began to shoot small stingers, one of which hit one guy in the neck. Something terrible began to happen to his body and he just fell. Wu Jin was afraid of this. The real danger of hobgoblins comes not from magic or strength, but from their ability to lead through their high intelligence. The goblin squad leader is not just another 1-star monster. Bai Do Su ordered the group to retreat and get out of here. Sun-gu sent a fireball at the goblins while the others ran away. Bai Do Su told him that they couldn't handle it and they had to retreat now. Sun-gu asked about Zhong Chul. Bai Do Su replied that he was already a corpse. Couldn't Sun-gu see that? As the group ran away, the hobgoblin followed them, unleashing his incredible magical power. Sun-gu was pierced by magic, and he simply fell exhausted. Bai Do Su ordered the others to just run away. However, Wu Jin was waiting around the corner. He came out with a crowbar and his magic, saying that he had not hunted goblins for a long time. He ordered his skeleton soldiers to attack. Goblins under the command of a hobgoblin would be difficult to deal with, but he was not deterred and rushed into battle. At this time, the skeletons attacked the small goblins with swords. While the skeletons were fighting the goblins, Ugin decided to attack their commander, the hobgoblin. He needed to kill him, and he drove the crowbar straight into his head. He mockingly asked if he really thought that Wu Jin would politely wait for his spell. The hero dealt with this terrible monster and his level increased to 6. Wu Jin realized that doing everything by himself is much better than with a group. Suddenly, the hero noticed that Sun Gu, struck by the hobgoblin's magic, did not die but began to move. Wu Jin was surprised that he came out. Sun Gu asked the hero to help him. Wu Jin asked what would happen to him if he saved the guy. Sun Gu replied that there were some things he wouldn't tell anyone. Wu Jin asked him again. Sun Gu will not tell anyone that Wu Jin is D rank. However, the hero himself doesn't care. Wu Jin thought and said with a smile that 2 would be enough for him. Sun Gu didn't understand what he was talking about. Sun Gu and Wu Jin rally all the bloody stones from the monsters. The hero asked if Sun Gu had collected all the stones, to which he received a positive answer. The guy thought about how Wu Jin could be F rank, because he can hunt 2-star monsters, and this is already D rank. In addition, Ugin summoned skeletons and uses search to detect bloodstones, and also cured him by pumping something out of the monster's corpses. Considering all this, Wu Jin should actually be C rank. If he registered just 3 hours ago, then this is simply incredible. Wu Jin asked Sun Gu how much he received for these bloodstones. The guy replied that it was about 800,000 won. That's not bad, considering he only paid 100,000 won. Wu Jin confronted Sun Gu with the fact that all the stones were his. Sun Gu agreed. However, the guy was still frightened by the hero's obsession with money. 2 million is not a bad price for his life, which Wu Jin demanded. They had the stone of return, so they decided to go. A notification has arrived that a low bloodlust has been detected. Wu Jin stopped Sun Gu and said it was an ambush. There are no more monsters here, which means Wu Jin ordered the guys above not to hide like rats and come out. The group asked what happened and how the 2 of them were able to kill everyone. Wu Jin replied that they were about to attack when they got closer. The hero told the guys from the group that they just ran away, and now they appear so shamelessly. Wu Jin said that they should have waited at the barrier and asked why they came here. Beidou Su asked what was wrong with Wu Jin since they were all on the same team. He added that they had simply returned to clear the dungeon after a tactical retreat, but all the monsters were already dead. Beidou Su asked how Wu Jin did it and looked sarcastically at the backpack with stones. The hero replied that he should not play with him. The guys wanted to escape after receiving the returned stones, but now they saw that everything had been cleared and wanted to do so. Wu Jin poured all the stones from his backpack onto the floor and said that if that was the case, the guys could come up and try to take them. Beidou Su said that it seemed like there was a misunderstanding because they weren't that stupid to attack the hero. Wu Jin killed the monsters that the group was unable to do anything to. He added that they were sorry for leaving them with Sun Gu, but his life was at stake. What did Wu Jin expect? The guys just came back for the returned stones. Beidou Su said that since the heroes had cleared everything, they could even take Zhang Chul's body and thanked him for that. Wu Jin found this suspicious. Maybe he just went too far and confused a premonition from monsters with an ambush. Ugin had become too nervous due to his 20 years in Alphen, but now he's on Earth. The escaped boys began to attack Wu Jin and Sun Gu, pointing their weapons at them. Beidou Su said that the hero should not hold a grudge against him, because all awakened ones are the same. And then Beidou Su ran up to Wu Jin with a dagger, hitting him. At the exit from the dungeon, there were signs that entry was prohibited. Some guys thanked the girl for her work. She was a leader. This is the same Li Yun-hee, the leader of the guild. Suddenly, her phone rang. She was informed that the intruder had been found, and his name was Kang Wu Jin. She asked who he was. She was told that there was almost no information, but they found out that he registered as awakened today. Li Yun-hee is shocked that it was today. She asked where he was now. Beidou Su thought he had dealt with Wu Jin, but that was not the case. Wu Jin grabbed his hand. He didn't have a single scratch. Wu Jin took Beidou Su by the hand and threw him to the floor with incredible force. Wu Jin mockingly asked why everything was going the way he thought. The guys are shameless traitors, blinded by bloodstones. The group was shocked by the sight of the goblin corpses. Ugin said that the time had come for punishment and sent his skeletons to the traitors. While the skeletons were dealing with the group, Wu Jin picked up a dagger from the floor and began to approach Beidou Su. The guy suggested that Ugin negotiate, but he had his own plans. Wu Jin took and mercilessly thrust the dagger straight into Beidou Su. Wu Jin said that the bastard must have a lot of money. Sun Gu was shocked and couldn't believe it, because Wu Jin killed a person, 5 people. Wu Jin said that these bastards are useless anyway, and asked Sun Gu if that was true. Sun Gu was silent, but when Wu Jin turned to him, he replied that the hero was right. Wu Jin said that Sun Gu was in danger because of him, to which the guy fearfully replied that he was not. Wu Jin replied that in this case, Sun Gu would pay him double because he saved the guy twice. Sun Gu was confused. The hero told the guy to show his shoulder as he needed medical assistance. Sun Gu thanked the hero. At the exit from the dungeon, the man asked why there were only 2 guys, to which Wu Jin replied that the rest were killed by monsters. The man was puzzled and asked how, in this case, the guys were able to collect these bloodstones. Wu Jin replied that the threat is a threat, but don't leave the money on the ground. The man asked the hero to sign before leaving. Perhaps the bureau will contact him to clarify the situation. Wu Jin and Sun Gu went to the bloodstone store. Wu Jin couldn't believe he got more than 13 million in one raid. And if you add 4 million to this for saving Sun Gu, you get 17 million. The hero decided that it was worth continuing to clear the dungeons himself. Sun Gu was overwhelmed by the fact that even with savings, he did not have 4 million, and even thought about taking out a loan. He also thought that he could ask Wu Jin to lower the price. Wu Jin reminded Sun Gu that he doesn't like people who stab him in the back. The guy said he would keep it in mind. The hero left and said that he was waiting for a call from Sun Gu. Apparently the guy will really have to take out a loan. Then the guy, in a panic, thought that maybe he owed not 4 million but 400 million. Wu Jin decided to go to the hardware store where he bought the phone earlier. That same seller was sitting inside and was bored because there were no buyers today. Then Wu Jin appears at the door. The seller was shocked. He didn't understand who it was. Wu Jin grabbed the seller by the throat and started beating him. The seller noticed how strong the hero is. Wu Jin continued to hit the seller. He thought the guy was really crazy and he might die. The man asked for mercy and Wu Jin threw him to the floor. The hero said that he really hates people who stab him in the back and also people who deceive him. However, the seller did not remember the hero and did not know when he managed to deceive him. Wu Jin showed the phone the man sold him and asked if he remembered it. The seller remembered this guy, to whom he sold an old phone for 900,000 won. And Wu Jin himself, having not been on Earth for a long time, did not know what phones he had now. The seller remembered that it was that bastard. Wu Jin asked why the man swallowed his tongue. Wu Jin got a new phone. As expected, even the colors of the new phones are in a different league. The hero said that in Alphen, he would have torn off this salesman's legs. Suddenly, some unknown people called out to Kang Wu Jin from behind. Ability: Necromancy, F rank. He cleared the Guaqian station alone. Probably his abilities are at least at the E rank level. Teaming up with an F rank and killing his comrades is not a problem for him. It was all said by the same Li Yunhee. She asked if Wu Jin was too fearless for a newbie. The hero looked at her and asked who she was. The girl introduced herself and said that her name was Li Yunhee, and she was the leader of the Cinnabar group, Hwarang Guild. Ugin's detection skill makes it clear that this creature is strong. The hero asked what they needed from him. Li Yunhee said that there was just one rat fearlessly roaming around the dungeons of their guild. Wu Jin mockingly asked that so many people really came for one rat. Apparently Hwarang is a very large guild. Wu Jin started saying that the dungeons were so miserable. However, before he could finish speaking, one of Li Yunhee's charges grabbed him and threw him to the ground. The man told the hero to watch the yak, since it was not for him to talk about their guild. Wu Jin called the man a bastard and, grabbing his hand, began trying to hit him. But Li Yunhee knocked Wu Jin back with just one kick. She was very fast and pinned Wu Jin to the ground with her foot. Li Yunhee gave the hero advice. Although the hero does not look like an ordinary F rank, it is better not to mess with such skills, especially in their territory. She added that if Wu Jin wants to live longer, he should not forget about it. The girl and the men left, but Wu Jin continued to lie on the floor. He hasn't received this for a long time. Wu Jin told Jae Min about the situation, and the guy couldn't believe that this was the same Li Yunhee from the Hwarang Guild. Wu Jin asked the guy if she was famous and what he knew about her. Jae Min replied that of course he knows, because she is one of the 10 A-rank awakened ones of their country. And the Hwarang Guild is in the top 3 along with KN and Hammer. They have enormous influence in politics and economics. Jae Min asked what Wu Jin did in the first dungeon that made them pay attention to him. Wu Jin asked, in the sense of inciting him, and replied that he could beat at least the Hwarang army if he regained his strength. Jae Min said that Wu Jin's ego amazes him since he is only F rank. Of course, Wu Jin would be at a disadvantage if he fought anyone outside the dungeon, even a high-level one. And the necromancer's skill is not unlimited. You need corpses to use it. Suddenly, Wu Jin took out a gift bag and said that it was for Jae Min. It turned out to be perfume. Wu Jin asks why Jae Min is surprised since this is the money he borrowed. Wu Jin also handed the guy a stack of money. Jae Min said that there's a lot here and let the hero give back as much as he took, because he doesn't need much. Wu Jin said that everything is fine and let the guy take it. Wu Jin said that they can consider the rest to be rent money. At first the guy agreed, but only then did it dawn on him that Wu Jin was going to continue living here. Jae Min asked if Wu Jin didn't meet his mom. The hero replied that her house was too small, and he would be here until he could buy a new home. Jae Min got upset and Wu Jin asked if he really didn't give enough money. Maybe he needs more, but the guy replied that that's not the point. Jae Min noticed that Wu Jin had changed his phone to the newest model. The guy asked to hold the phone in his hands. The color of the phone is crazy red. Jae Min wondered if Wu Jin really earned so much, because to use this phone you need bloodstones. It is insanely expensive. The hero replied that he received it as a result of one event. This was an event in which lives were at stake. Jae Min said that Wu Jin is really cool and started logging into his banking apps. The hero demanded to give up the phone. After picking up his phone, Wu Jin saw a notification that 40 million won had been added to his account. Sun Gu is an idiot, but Wu Jin told him about 4 million. In the evening, in one of the cafes, Sun Gu and Wu Jin were supposed to meet. The guy timidly approached the table where Wu Jin was sitting. The hero asked why Sun Gu was asking him about business if they met just a couple of hours ago. Wu Jin also held out the phone and asked what it was. The hero added that he was actually not a beggar and actually meant 4 million. As Sun Gu thought, Wu Jin was talking about 4. He thought that if he couldn't pay, he would end up in the place of the guys that Wu Jin killed. Sharply, Sun Gu knelt down in front of Wu Jin and began to ask him not to kill him. He promised to give the rest, but asked to give him more time. People in the establishment began to look at the heroes. They thought they were some kind of gangsters or bandits. Wu Jin was annoyed and replied that if Sun Gu wants to live, then he should just sit down. The guy started saying that he was very sorry, but he couldn't get 400 million won. But if Wu Jin gave him time, then he would definitely be able to. Wu Jin was puzzled. What, 400 million? He asked Sun Gu again, to which he said yes. Sun Gu didn't understand the campaign at all. Wu Jin was talking about 4 million, but the guy first thought about 40, and now about 400 million won. Children today are generous. If he made a mistake, he deserves to be taken advantage of. Wu Jin's face changed sharply, and with a smile he asked Sun Gu about how long he still had to wait. The next day, Wu Jin was walking down the street and Sun Gu called out to him. They got into the car and Wu Jin asked the guy why he was so happy on the first day. Sun Gu replied that even servants can be happy. It turns out that Wu Jin told the guy that since he couldn't get 400 million now, he could join him in the group and give his share of the profits. That is, Sun Gu will simply stick to Wu Jin. Convenient idea. The guy, confused, said that everything was wrong. If Wu Jin wants, he can become his manager. Selecting dungeons, making reservations, selling bloodstones. Sun Gu can do all this for the hero. It's kind of like supporting a guild. Oh, so Sun Gu is a servant. He's trying to pay off the debt through labor because there is no money. Wu Jin is right, but why does it hurt so much? The hero agreed and said that then the period would be 1 year. Free will be too difficult, so Sun Gu will have his share. Sun Gu began thanking Wu Jin repeatedly, to which Wu Jin replied that he should be the one who was grateful. Wu Jin wanted to return the excess, but in the end he got himself a servant. Wu Jin told Sun Gu to just do his job well, and then 10% of the profit would be his. Sun Gu was happy, and Wu Jin asked the guy if he had found the dungeon that the hero was talking about. Sun Gu replied yes. As Wu Jin requested, this is a 3-star dungeon with the most monsters. Exit 3 from Maebong Station, there is a swarm of Raki. The heroes entered the dungeon. There really were a lot of monsters there. Wu Jin told Sun Gu to keep his eyes open. Wu Jin will have to spend all his points on control. The number of skeletons that the hero can use has increased to 19. Wu Jin decided to take quantity by quantity. And now, the heroes decided to start a hardcore passage. The skeleton soldiers went on the attack. They deftly dealt with all the monsters. While Wu Jin was killing the monsters, Sun Gu was collecting all the bloodstones upstairs. The hero praised the guy. Sun Gu was simply shocked that Wu Jin had already cleared everything here. Usually a raid on the Rocky dungeon takes 2 hours, but here Ugin did it in 15 minutes alone. Wu Jin sat down to rest. He is now level 7 and has some achievement points. The hero began to look at the skills that he can learn at level 7. There were ones like the Fire Hand and the Water Ball, nothing worthwhile. The hero can learn to summon a skeleton mage at level 10. It will be nice to open it soon. Sun Gu said that everything is ready, and he also found the return stone. Wu Jin asked how much time had passed. Sun Gu replied 27 minutes. Wu Jin paid for 4 hours, which means they can complete the dungeon 7 more times. The hero told Sun Gu to get ready. They went to sell bloodstones. 53.2 million won was assessed. Sun Gu was simply shocked by the amount of money. More than 50 million in half an hour. At this rate, it will soon be 400 million. Sun Gu's share will be 40 million. The guy went to peer-to-peer dungeons for 2 months and earned about 30 million, and now as much as 40 million in 1 day. Sun Gu told Wu Jin that this was simply amazing, and added that the hero was truly a great person. Wu Jin told the guy not to fuss, as there were still 7 approaches left and it was not time to relax. This is an opportunity given by the gods. Becoming Hunam's manager was a great decision. We find ourselves in the Hammer Guild, with the captain of the 4th support team, Jun Min Chan. A certain Jae Ming called him. Min Chan asked what happened. Jae Ming said that there was something he had to report. In the morning, 2 guys bought tickets for 4 hours and entered the dungeon, but these guys are a little strange. The captain thought that the guys were dead and said into the phone that this happens often. But no, they are alive. It's about the time they spent there. Their first raid took 30 minutes, and now they finish in 11 minutes. This time they spent only 9 minutes 47 seconds. The guys even placed bets on whether they could make it in 10 minutes. Jae Ming asked the captain to find information about these guys. They said it was F rank, but after seeing it, I can't believe it. The captain was shocked. How is this F rank? The captain asked Jae Ming to be in touch and said that he would call back as soon as he found out anything. The captain started looking up information about the heroes on the computer and found out that one registered yesterday and the second only 2 months ago. 2 newbies clear a 3-star dungeon in 10 minutes. Frank? Even if the meter is faulty, this is too big a mistake. Minimum C rank. Awakened with C rank abilities have a high probability of becoming high rank. The captain began to get ready and hurriedly leave. It had been a long time since he had seen an awakened one with such potential. The Hwarang Guild received a report from the bureau worker who was there. They learned that Wu Jin had entered their dungeon, and next to him is Hong Sung Gu, 21 years old, F-rank fire mage, nothing special. They believe that Kang Wu Jin has the main power, rank necromancer in such an incredible time. The man asked Captain Lee Yun-hee what she thought of him. She thought he was unusual, but not that unusual. His abilities are at least C rank. There are two options. He either hid his abilities during the test or is growing at a crazy pace. Lee Yun-hee asked if there was at least one awakened at such a speed, because he was of low rank, but rose 2 or 3 overnight. The man replied that there was a similar case, an awakened one who rose from F rank to A rank. His potential was a mystery until he reached number 1 in South Korea. This is all about Kim Kang-chal. Lee Yun-hee said not to even compare them. The man said that he did not know and was unsure, but he would have to make sure. The man, Hwarang Guild Master Lee Sang-ho, said to bring him. We need to find out what kind of person he is. Sun Gu took out bloodstones from the corpses of monsters as usual. He thought that money is good, but he will move his skates like that. He will be the first to die when the bloodstones are extracted. Sun Gu asked Wu Jin if they could get some rest. Wu Jin mockingly asked if Sun Gu was already exhausted. Sun Gu drank the water and said that this was much better. Wu Jin asked how much time they still had, to which Sun Gu replied 1 hour and 12 minutes. The hero has already received about 400 million won. This is enough to buy a house for Mom and Sua. Wu Jin called out to Sun Gu and said that the remaining stones were now his. He'll protect him so the guy can get as much as he can. And now Wu Jin decided to speed up, whatever that means. He suddenly exploded and began to run towards the monsters. The skeleton soldiers were actively killing small monsters, and the hero ran on. Ugin attacked the large monster, thereby killing it. The hero's level has been increased to 10. Now this should be enough. Notification came that Wu Jin had met the level requirements for the class. Now he needs to choose a class. This seemed very strange to Wu Jin. In Alphen, classes were also determined by reaching level 10, but he was already a necromancer. What's happening? The hero began to choose to have a dual class. Ujin was given the warrior class, and was also given the warrior bonus, warrior weapon. However, the hero did not really want the warrior class, as this could become a problem. It is more profitable to be a magician, since the characteristics would have something in common with necromancy. If he had known this would happen, he would have used magic instead of swinging a crowbar. He was given the warrior's weapon bonus. The hero didn't know what this meant, maybe it was a class reward. It turned out that the weapon was an ordinary steel pipe steel staff. A warrior's weapon is like his friend and life, so it grows with the user and will come to him at the first call. Effects: 5 to strength, restoration of strength, in the withdrawn state. Skills: summon, recall. I wonder what these growing weapons will be like in the future. And now the necromancer bonus, Demon Seal Catalyst, has appeared. The Demon Seal Crystal is a magical crystal that necromancers receive upon reaching certain levels. 7 crystals inside are great familiars, incomparable to skeleton soldiers. With their help, on Alphen, Ugin destroyed all the enemies who dared to go to Alendal, his land. I wonder who Wu Jin will get this time. He decides to open the seal and a bright red light appears. Suddenly, Bibi appears. She asks about where the master went. Wu Jin doesn't understand why her. Bibi jumps into Wu Jin's arms. She is very happy to see him. She missed him. The hero asked why she didn't stay on Alphen and what happened. Bibi replied that after Wu Jin disappeared, all the familiars were placed in the seal space. What is print space? Did they really move along with Ugin? The hero was at a loss. Suddenly, Wu Jin and Bibi smelled something. Bibi asked what it was. Bibi said that she could smell the Tranit's subjects from the corpses. Now Wu Jin is in complete shock. Tranit is a demon who invaded Alphen from a mysterious dimension. He destroyed 90% of the population. Ugin never fought him, but his subjects invaded Alendal so often that the sight of them sickened him. And now it looks like Tranit is invading Earth. This may be the very reason for the appearance of dungeons. Wu Jin believed that he had escaped from Hell, but Hell is on his heels. Everything happens at Maebong Station, Exit 3. The same Captain Junmin Chan came there on business. The captain asked his charge where Sun Gu and Wu Jin were. The guy replied that they came in 8 minutes ago, so they should show up soon. The guy added that they are not simpletons, because they earned more than 400 million won. With a sneer, the guy said that with such power he would also clear dungeons. And finally, the heroes left the dungeon. The captain approached them and said that they had done a good job in the dungeon and asked, if it wouldn't be a problem, to give him some time. Captain Junmin Chan said it would only take a couple of minutes. He and his charge looked very friendly. Wu Jin said no, he refuses. However, the captain followed them and asked them to stop. Wu Jin turned and asked what the captain wanted from him. If they are already taking up time, then why ask? Junmin Chan wondered what was wrong with this psycho. The captain apologized for beating around the bush. He decided to get straight to the point. Min Chan said that the Hammer Guild wants to recruit Wu Jin and handed him a business card. Sun Gu and Wu Jin simply turned around and left, saying they weren't interested. The stressed captain asked them to wait and said that they probably just didn't know about the Hammer Guild. But Wu Jin knew that their guild was one of the top 3 guilds in South Korea. The captain said that in the ranks of the guild, there are the most powerful awakened ones, and if Wu Jin joins them, they promise that they will provide him with the best support. The hero called out to the captain and said that he was in a lousy mood and that he should stop annoying him. Wu Jin has finally saved up enough money to buy a house for his family. His mother was shocked. The real estate agent said they could look around. The house is large, two-story brick with a large lawn. Mom asked her son how he was going to buy such a house, to which Wu Jin replied that he topped up his account today. The mother asked where her son got so much money, and he admitted that he was awakened. Mom realized that he earned this money in the dungeon. Wu Jin's mom was very worried because it was dangerous and asked him since when he had been doing this. The mother said that she had already lost Wu Jin's father and she didn't want to lose her son as well. The hero told his mother not to worry because he is not as weak as she thinks. For him, it's like catching Zhukov. This, of course, did not reassure my mother. Su-ah asked if they could get a dog like her mom promised her. Wu Jin repeated again so that mom wouldn't worry. He said she could consider it compensation for the hard times. She just needs to believe in him. Mom was both proud and dumbfounded by such events. In the evening, Wu Jin went to look for Bibi. He saw the magic and told her to come out. He heard her, but for some reason she did not come out. What's the matter? It looks like Bibi has turned into a cat. Wu Jin asked her why that was. She replied that she could not take on her true form, so she had to find a small organism. So Bibi can take on her true form in the dungeons, but why is that? The hero asked what about the energy of the Tranit, if Bibi felt anything. She replied that no, nothing. Bibi said it smells nice here. It smells like peace. The demon enjoys the smell of the world. The energy of Tranit has not yet affected this world. Suddenly a man appeared from behind, who was surprised that Wu Jin even took care of stray cats. He said that the hero is full of surprises. This man turned out to be the head of the Hwarang Guild, Lee Sang-ho. He was glad to meet and asked the hero to give him some time. Meanwhile, Sun Gu sat in the car dealership and thought, and he was thinking about Ugin. Sun Gu can't understand him. Earlier, the guy asked Wu Jin why he rejected the guild's offer. Maybe there was some reason. Wu Jin was not in the mood and simply replied that it was. Sun Gu asked him again. Wu Jin explained that he hates taking orders from anyone. Sun Gu understood. This is what he expected from a hero. Sun Gu said that even the all-powerful Hammer Guild is no match for Kang Wu Jin. But still, Sun Gu was shocked that Wu Jin refused just because of this. However, is the reason important? Soon, Sun Gu will be able to ride the cutie he has been dreaming about for so long. All he has to do is trust and follow Wu Jin from now until... Before Sun Gu could finish speaking, one of the car dealership workers ran up to him. He was uncomfortable that the client was waiting for a long time. The man asked if Sun Gu wanted to sign a contract right now, to which the guy answered confidently that yes. Wu Jin and Lee Sang-ho decide to talk at a coffee shop. First, the leader would like to apologize for yesterday. Sang-ho asked about Wu Jin and Lee Yun-hee's fight. The hero first thought, and then remembered that same red-haired girl. It turns out that she is the sister of this Lee Sang-ho. The leader said she had an explosive temper. She is very valuable to the guild, so the man is ready to compensate for any tricky situations. Wu Jin said that there was no need for that and asked about the real reason for Lee Sang-ho's visit. The man said that Wu Jin is very smart. Sang-ho said that to be honest, he watched the hero's progress, stunning progress that is impossible for an F rank, C rank, if you remember today's raid. The man added that he is confident that Wu Jin is one step away from the highest chances. Is it really the Hwarang Guild now? The hero thought that the guild wanted him to join them. That's exactly it. Lee Sang-ho asked to join their Hwarang Guild, and he will provide the hero with conditions for development. The hero thought about these conditions of development. He asked if Lee Sang-ho would hand over the role of head to him if Wu Jin was able to defeat him. The man had heard a lot about the hero's self-confidence. But Lee Sang-ho leads the Hwarang Guild not because of the skills of the Awakened One, because his B rank is worth nothing compared to his A rank. Therefore, he will not be able to give his place to Wu Jin even if he defeats him. Wu Jin was angry. The hero stood up from behind and began to walk towards the door. He's not interested, so he decides to leave. And then suddenly Lee Sang-ho asks if Wu Jin knows why the dungeons appeared. 5 years have already passed since the underground earthquake, and they still haven't found out anything. However, the dungeons become larger and the monsters in them become stronger. But this does not frighten humanity at all, because they have plunged headlong into earning bloodstones. Lee Sang-ho is absolutely sure that the world will drown in chaos if things continue like this. Gathering the Awakened to stop this is Lee Sang-ho's mission. The man said that she hopes Wu Jin will trust them with his strength. At the Hammer Guild, Captain Jun Min-chan had been in a terrible mood since the morning. His ward tracked information on the computer. He told the captain that those guys had booked Gate 6 of Guaqian Station. Min-chan was very angry and asked why the guy was ruining his mood by talking about him so early. How good is Wu Jin? At best, he would be a C-rank bastard. And then the guy told the captain that this was actually a 4-star dungeon. Now the captain is in deep shock. He ran to the computer and saw that the heroes had booked a dungeon for 2. The captain thought that these bastards were simply crazy. F rank cannot enter dungeons higher than 4 stars. It would be understandable if they went as minors or support. It can be seen that they are newbies and are booking dungeons without basic knowledge. But what abilities do they have if they are going to clear this dungeon? The captain was tormented by this question. The captain asked the employee if they had a 4-star nearby. The guy replied that yes, exit 11 of Cheongsa Station. It's pretty close. The captain told the guy to try to cancel all reservations for this dungeon. This surprised the guy. because he thought that the captain had already given up. The captain asked what it meant to surrender. This time the heroes will be his. He said that if you want to catch fish, you need the right bait. Wu Jin and Sun Gu were driving a new BMW car. Sun Gu said that he bought this car because he didn't want to carry Wu Jin in a small car. The hero did not know what brand of car it was. Wu Jin thought to himself that this car is on a completely different level. Just look at the interior. And Sun Gu thought that the hero lives in the forest, because how can one not recognize a BMW? Sun Gu happily said that he would do his best to make Wu Jin's ride comfortable. Wu Jin said that a big catch was still waiting for them. Strange, but some man did not allow the heroes into the dungeon. He said that F-rankers couldn't clear a 4-star dungeon, especially with just 2 people. Sun Gu still tried to persuade the man, saying that everything was fine and that he and Wu Jin were confident in their abilities. However, the man was adamant. Sun Gu said that they are not asking to take responsibility and once again asked to just let them in. The man replied that if a guy wants to commit suicide, then let him jump into the Han River, and asked, why do it here? The man clearly said that these are the rules and heroes cannot enter. Sun Gu approached Wu Jin hesitantly and said that he could not convince the man. He apologized, saying that he should have scouted first. Wu Jin replied that nothing can be done, and apparently he needs to undergo reassessment tomorrow. The hero told Sun Gu to check if there were 3-star dungeons nearby. Suddenly the guys were called out by the captain, the previously familiar captain Junmin Chan. The captain said that this was definitely fate. He apologized for interfering and asked what happened. He would like to help the heroes. The captain repeated the question about what happened. Wu Jin felt that there was something suspicious about this. Wu Jin asked how the captain was going to help them. Junmin Chan asked if the heroes knew that only C rank and above